Well, hello, hello. This is Rosa, RCG Creations. How's it going? We're going to be making today, first time doing this, never done it before, is some scones. I did end up getting a scone silicone mat. This is what I'm going to cook them in. And let's get started. Let me bring you down so you can see what's going on. Okay, I think you're in frame now. Okay, good. Okay, so we need 2 cups of all-purpose flour, which is already in here. It's got to be sifted. Okay, so, and it asks for 1/4 teaspoon. I got all my measurements, everything out, of 1 tablespoon. Let me get the 1 tablespoon of baking powder. So 1/4 teaspoon. Okay, that's the end of the baking powder. Okay, then we're going to need, we needed 1 tablespoon of baking powder, not 1/4. It's 1/4 of soda, baking soda. I'm new to all this baking stuff, so bear with me. Okay, so baking powder is 1/4. So baking powder calls for 1 tablespoon. So let me level this out. See the level out? Now I'm going to take out the 1/4, which is already used. And that's close enough. Okay, so make sure 1 tablespoon of baking powder, 1 tablespoon, 1 tablespoon. Okay, so we're good to go on that. Alrighty, now I need 1/4 of baking soda. My baking soda. I buy my baking stuff in bulk from As Your Standard. So I put them in these little jars. Now baking soda does clump. And I think this is why they want you to, because all this stuff does clump. I think this is why they want you to put it through a sifter. But I really don't know, because I'm probably new to baking, so we'll see what happens. Okay, so now we're going to sift the baking soda, flour, and baking powder into a large bowl. Okay, so let's sift it. And all we're doing is tapping it through a metal sieve here. I have a little sifter, regular sifter that you for flour, but I can't find where it is. I've looked for it, but I can't find it. This is going to take forever. But when I do see little clumps, oh, they're just flour. They're good. But from what I've been reading, I do a lot of reading and research, because I want to know why something is being done, and why do you do this, and why do you do that with all this baking stuff. And what I gathered is when you put flour and baking products like this, like the baking soda and all that, through a sieve, it kind of fluffs it up. It's just like using bread flour versus all-purpose flour or self-rising flour when you're making breads. It makes it more fluffy. And I think this is what I'm doing right now, is I'm making everything because it's extra fine. And that's the end result, is you want a better product. And that's what this does. At least from what I'm read. If anybody knows anything different, please put it in the comment section, because like I said, I'm brand new at baking. I'm learning all this stuff. And all I can do is do trial and error. That's all I can do. I can't go any further than that. Okay, so we did that. Add the kosher salt. Kosher salt, 1/2 teaspoon. 1/2 teaspoon. Where's my salt? My kosher salt. One of these days I'm going to take the time to put all my lids in plastic and save my metal lids and rings for canning, either processed canning, pressure canning, or dehydrating. Okay, 1/2 teaspoon of salt. And then we're going to need sugar next. How much sugar do I need? 1/3 cup of sugar. And I got my where's my 1/3 cup? I had my 1/3 cup out. Where did it go? Oh, there it is. Right in front of my face. There it was. I was going to use whole wheat flour, but I changed my mind. I'm going to stick to the recipe because it's my first time making it. And the first time I want to stick to exactly to the T, and then I can tweak it. Because I'm actually getting a little bit better at all this baking stuff. So I can learn to tweak it, and I'll put my little notes on the recipe. 1/3 cup. Let me move everything over here out of the way once I'm done with it. And I can clean up. You know, a lot of the younger generation of cooks, I hear the word refresh, which basically just means clean up. And I was like, okay, I finally caught on after 4 or 5 of them saying that. It's like, oh, all you're doing is cleaning up. But they call it, let's refresh the area. So, but I'm learning the new lingo with all these new videos that I'm watching this younger generation. A lot of them are really darn good cooks. Well, at least it looks good because, of course, we don't know because we didn't taste it. But a lot of the stuff is kind of like, you really can't really mess up. Yeah, you can mess up. Anybody can mess up because I'm a mess up. I'm messy and I'm sloppy. I'm getting better so far. Knock on wood. No spills. Okay, so now we're just going to whisk this together. Make sure it's all combined pretty well, which I'm pretty sure it is. Okay, next we're going to, I'm just going to try to clean up some of my dirty dishes right here. Oops. Okay, next we're going to add the cold cube butter to the flour mixture. Work the butter into the flour with your fingers or a pastry blend until all the butter pieces are about pea and lime bean size. That's what we call the old school, what I'm used to. I'm getting my butter out of the fridge because I wanted it to be cold and stay cool. Because the recipe does say, well, I'll read you exactly what it says. It says, where's the butter? Cold and cubed. So there's my cubed butter. And I went ahead and pre-measured this already. Now remember, clean utensils, clean hands when you first start baking. And we're going to be serving these to some friends we're having come over for dinner. Okay, I got my pastry cutter. Now I'm just, like it says, a cold cube and blend it till all the butter comes into little bite-sized pieces. So this is going to take a little process. I'm not going to keep you here while I'm doing this because I really want to stay under my 15 minutes. That's my goal for my videos. So after we do this, we're going to add the egg, 1 egg, buttermilk. I make my own powdered buttermilk, vanilla extract, and we're going to a measuring cup to fill 1 cup. And we're going to whisk it in with all this mixture and make a well in the middle of the flour mixture and pour in the liquid mixtures. Oh, so once all this is done, we're going to make a little well. Then we're going to pour all the wet ingredients. We're going to put all the wet ingredients in a cup. It's all going to fill up. So the ingredients are going to be the egg, the buttermilk, and the vanilla extract. All is going to be combined together until we get 1 full cup. We're going to stir it, mix it. Make a well in the flour mixture once it's all combined. Pour the milk in there. Okay. And then we're going to, we're going to save 2 tablespoons to use an egg wash later. Oh, the eggs. Okay. So I'm going to do an egg wash. Oop, I just used my butter bowl for the egg wash. Fold in with a spatula or wooden spoon until a shaggy dough forms. And I got my little wooden spurtle spoon. I've invested in some baking tools because it makes a huge difference. Okay, so then we'll get the pastry sheet. So we'll bring it back when we get to that next phase. Because this is going to be a while because I don't have a whole lot of wrist action. Okay, so we'll bring it back. Okay, we've done with the kneading of the flour. Cutting the butter into the flour. See my little well. And I've already mixed. Let me put this back down. I need 2 hands. I have already mixed the egg, buttermilk, and vanilla and almond extract. Mixed it all up. Made it all needs to equal 1 cup. Now I'm going to put this in the center of the well like it says. And of course it's going to go over. Now it says, I read this twice already. I did reserve 2 tablespoons of egg for the egg wash to go on top afterwards. Okay, fold with a spatula or wooden spoon until a shaggy dough forms. So here's my wooden spoon. I think they call these a spurtle. I bought it at Amazon. So I'm just going to mix this up until it folds. Fold in. Don't mix. Fold. Mixing is when you're mixing it all together. Fold is when you're slightly, gently folded it in so all the dry ingredients incorporate with the wet ingredients. So I'm basically folding it in. And then ever so often clean out your utensil. Get this all out of here. Well, this is sticky. We'll see if this was going to be a spill-proof recipe for me or not. Okay, so it looks like it's all pretty much incorporated the dry into the wet. Because you want a shaggy dough, and from what I'm seeing and read, this looks like a shaggy dough. Tell me what you think. Post in the comments if this is a shaggy dough. It looks like it is to me, but we'll see. Let me just do one little mix. One little fold, not mix, one little fold in. And don't forget, get the stuff down in the dead center. Because you want to get your dry flour from the dead center. This spoon is so big, it's a little hard for me to use. But I'll get with it, because I've seen other people use these big old spoons. Okay, so that I think that worked out good, just like that. Now turn the dough onto a well-floured board. Pat the dough about 1/4 inch thick and fold it over itself. Do this a few times to create a shape into a rectangle. Okay, so turn the dough into a well-floured. I'm going to get my, I know this is clean. Let me move that out of the way. Let me add some flour. Okay, so, oops, let me just move all my dishes out of the way because I think I'm done with these for now. These are all dirty dishes anyway. Let me save my egg wash because I need that. And I've seen people just say they just lightly dust it. I'm going to leave my flour right here. A little scoop. Let me get my wet towel out of the way. Okay, so let me just make sure I know what I'm doing here. It says turn the dough onto a well-floured board. Pat the dough out to about 1/2 inch thick and fold it over itself. Do this a few times to create layers. Then you want to shape it into a rectangle. Okay, so let's do... I need to be able to have access to that without dropping that. Okay, so... That's why you need the extra flour, I'm sure, is because it is a sticky dough. I should have watched 2 more. I only watched 1 video on how to do scones. And And bear with me, I'm going to take my rings off because they're a dickens to get the dough out of the inside the diamonds there. Okay, so we're just going to roll this into, you know what I need. This is one reason why I have sheet protectors on my recipe so they don't get too dirty. Okay, so turn the dough onto a well-floured board. Pat the dough about 1/2 inch thick and fold over itself. Okay, so let's move this over here so I can have room to read and you're still in frame. So I think we're good. Okay, I think I'm doing this good because it says and fold over itself. Do this a few times to create a few layers. So we're going to pat this down to about 1/2 inch thick. I don't have my mirror, but I can kind of eyeball it. And then we're going to layer it. And let me get myself some more flour. Roll it flat. Pat the dough out to about 1/2 inch thick. So I'm assuming this is what means by pat. Yep, I really think I should have watched 3 or 4 more videos of them making scones just to be sure. And then do a few times to create a shape into a rectangle. Okay. I know I've seen a whole bunch, like 6, 7, or 8 of them making pastry pie crust. And they do this a couple of times. And then they roll this over upon itself to make the layers. Then they turn it around. And then they fold it flat, like it says. And we want to shape it into a rectangle. And I think this is, it feels, see, it's not sticking anymore, so I think we're good to go now. At least I think so. Let me do this one more time because it's not sticking. So I think we're good. We want about a half inch thickness. I didn't bring my ruler, but I have one, but that's close enough. So let's roll it in. And we want a rectangle shape. Do this a few times, shape into a rectangle. With a rolling pin, roll the dough out to about 1/4 inch thickness and about 1/4 inch long. Sprinkle with chopped almond paste evenly over the dough. We're not doing that because we're skipping the almond paste. Hubby's not too much in nuts. I already got the almond extract in there, so that'll be close enough. Okay, so with a rolling pin, roll the dough out to about 1/4 inch thick. And I do know I need to flour my rolling pin. This always reminds me of my mom and grandma when they were making tortillas. Okay. Roll the dough out to about 1/4 inch thick and about a 12 to 4 inches long. Okay, you know what? I'm going to get my ruler because I didn't bring out my pastry sheet. But I have a ruler that I use here strictly in the kitchen. It's not used for nothing but the chicken. The kitchen. Chicken. Kitchen. Not chicken. Kitchen. Okay, honey. You hear the comment from the peanut gallery over here? Okay, about 12. Okay, so it's going to be about a little bit longer than this 12-inch ruler. Okay, so let's smooth this out. Roll this over. And I'm assuming it needs to stay in the shape of a rectangle. With a rolling pin, roll the dough out to about 1/4 to 12 to 4 inches long. Okay, roll the dough into a log starting at the edge. Okay, yeah, that's what I need to do. And it needs to be a 1/4 inch thick 1/4 inch. 1/4 inch. A little thick, but that's okay. Okay. Roll the dough. That's about 12 to 14. That's a little bit more than 12, so I think we're good to go there. 1/4 inch thick. Okay, where's my 1/4 inch? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1/4 inch. Okay, that's really close to 1/4. It's a little bit smaller, but I think that's close enough. Roll the dough into a log, starting at the long edge, then pat it down to about 1 1/2 inch. Wait a minute. Roll the dough out. Okay, that's 1/4 and 12 inch long. So, okay, we're not doing the paste evenly. Roll the dough into a log, starting at the long edge, then pat it down to about 1 1/2 inch thick, and you cut it into 8 triangles. Okay, so this is way too thin. Turn the dough into the well-fouled board, pat the dough out, fold it over, do this a few times to create layers. Shape into a rectangle. With a rolling pin, roll the dough out to 1/4 inch thick, sprinkle the chopped almond paste over the dough, roll the dough into a log starting at the long edge, then pat it down. Place the scones on a parchment lined baking sheet and refrigerator freeze for about 15 minutes while you preheat the oven to 400. Before you put the scones into the oven, brush the top. Oh, that's why we're putting it into the dough. That's what we need to do. So I need to get my pastry cutter. And we're going to put it into the scone. It's a scone silicone mat. Okay. See, this is the recipe if you're just doing it on a cookie sheet. We're not doing that. Then put it down, cut into 8 triangles. Okay, I get it now. Took me a little while, but I'm getting it. So let me get I do have a metal scraper. Okay. We want about 8 of these. And we're going to put them inside here. I'm just going to fold them over. That's 1. I think I'm going to need to cut that down. So I'm just going to make them fit into this scone thing. Okay, let's cut this down a little bit. And then we'll just squeeze that piece together. And I know I just need, let's see, how big of a piece do I need? About right there. Put this one over here. Put this one over here. And during that 15 minutes that it's in the fridge, it said it's going to rise a little. Because it did, I remember reading that. Place the scones on a parchment lined baking sheet and refrigerator freeze for about 15 minutes while you preheat the oven to 400. Before you put the scones into the oven, brush the top and sides with reserved egg wash and add a little bit of granulated sugar on top. But we're good to go on that part. So we're going to cut this right here. Going to cut right here. All I'm doing is cutting them to make them fit into my little scone mold. And then this one can go there. You know what? I'm going to go ahead and put these in here. I'm going to roll it out. I'm going to pinch them together so they stay flat. Remember how it said you fold it over and make it into layers? Whoops, I just spilt my flour. I did have a spillage. Spillage. Another video with spillage. I haven't got one yet that didn't have a spillage. Okay. I've got a lot more, so you know what? I'm going to go ahead and roll these out, make them fit in here, and then I'm going to bring you back because I don't want, all I'm doing is making them, roll them up and making them fit so they fit in each one of the little scone shapes. We'll bring you back. Alrighty, got out the oven has preheated. Took this out of the freezer. Let me get my egg wash. I had it in the fridge so it would stay cold. Now I'm going to coat. I got one, the little bitty one. It's going to be a small one. That should be mine because I'm not supposed to be eating these anyway. And you want to just coat all the way around with the egg wash. And I'll wipe that off in a minute before I put it in the oven. Just want to make sure everything on the sides gets coated. And since I'm using a mold, a silicone mold, of course I'm not going to do the sides, but that's okay. I just want to get the top part coated with this egg wash. And I'm going to save my egg wash because I'm going to be doing some cookies next. And it calls for 2 eggs. So I'll just save this egg wash when I do the eggs. Don't waste anything. Okay. Okay, so place this, before you put the scones in the oven, brush the top and sides with a reserved egg. I didn't have to do the sides because I'm using a mold. Oh, sprinkle a little bit of sugar on top. I knew there was one more thing I got to do. Let me go get my sugar. This little thing is heavy. And then let me just sprinkle some sugar on top for some little extra flavor. I've put a list on my grocery list to order the thicker chunks of sugar. I didn't realize there was such a thing. But I was trying to do another recipe, but it asked for some chunks of sugar. And I go, what's chunks? I looked it up, Googled it. And sure enough, you can buy... I need to do my fingers because this is too... It's getting too much sugar, I think. You just want to do a light coating of sugar, it says. And I'll show you, I'll bring this up to the camera. You'll see it in just a second. I want to make sure every bit of it has sugar on it, so as it bakes, every bite has a little bite of sugar in it. That one had a little too much sugar, but that's okay. One of the guests can have that one. It won't be me, it'll be too sweet. Actually, it won't be too sweet. I'm just saying that. But look, see how they rose? See, there's the little one that just didn't run out of dough. These last 2 ran out of dough. But this is what they look like. We'll put them in the oven. And let me get back to my recipe just a second. Okay. And the recipe says, what do we do next? We are, place this, okay, I brushed the oven, butter, egg wash, I did that. Bake for 21 to 22 minutes until golden brown. Remove from the oven and allow it to cool in the baking sheet 5 to 10 minutes before transferring onto a wire rack to cool. Okay, these are best served warm, so we'll bring you back. The next one will be the taste test. We'll bring you back. We are back. And look. Whoops. I went ahead and got one out. Look at that. Isn't that pretty? And it's hot, so I'm not going to touch it. Woo! Mighty, mighty, mighty hot. But look at that. See how golden that is? And look at the bottom. And I put a cake tester in there just to see that it was done in the center, which they were. Because again, like I said, these are my first time making these. And there's one of the little ones. See the difference? See the difference in the sizes? So, I get to eat the little one. Let me take them all out because it says, you know what, let me just double check, make sure I'm supposed to do this right away. Do I wait a few minutes? Okay. Bake for 20-21 minutes. It took right around 18 minutes and mine were done. Remove from the oven, allow it to cool in the baking sheet 5 to 10 minutes before transferring the scones to a wire rack. Oh, they're supposed to stay on this thing for 5 to 10 minutes. Okay, we'll come back to that part. But we'll still do the taste test. We'll use the little baby one. I told hubby I would bring him one. I don't need a fork. This is a finger food snack dessert, and it is still pretty warm. Let me get myself a fork. And let me cut into it, and then I'm going to show you. There we go. See that? Nice and fluffy. See the steam? I'll let that cool off for just a minute. Then we'll do the little quick little taste test. It tastes like a biscuit. I would definitely serve this with some marmalade or jam. So open it halfway and then put the marmalade or jam on there, and that would be really, really good. Now the sugar on top, I could have definitely gone and added more. I'm going to put that on my as a note on that recipe. Plain, no jam, no nothing. Put extra sugar on top because you can definitely taste the sugar that baked into on the top. But the dough, like I said, scones are really made for breakfast. You eat them with your coffee or your tea or milk. But this is definitely a win. I think this is a 1 star. I'm not going to do 2 thumbs up. We're going to do 1 thumb up because this is exactly what I thought it was going to be. And again, this is my first recipe, so I'm going to do a little bit of tweaking on it because I would like it to be a little bit more on the sweeter dough. So I think I'm going to add 1/4 of a cup sugar to the flour mixture when it goes into that ingredient. And that way we can just eat them just like this by itself, because you don't want just plain old biscuit. The scone's a little bit different than a biscuit. The texture's a little bit different. Now, I will tell you this because, and I'm going to show you this, because my first time doing this, and like I said, I should have watched 3 more videos just to be on the safe side on beginning to end. I did have to rearrange them, and you saw, but see how much they rose, okay? But also see the pieces where I had to put them together. It didn't actually form into one shape, kind of like this one did. Oh, that's hot. Oh, that's hot. That's hot. That's hot. And you see how the different layers, but it's exactly like it is. It's the layer. So again, with trial and error, I'll get better at this. But as far as I'm concerned, this is a 1 thumb up. Not a 2 thumb up, but definitely a 1 thumb up for sure. And I will post in the description box the full recipe. This is a good biscuit, but I definitely want to put some like a jam. I have some cowboy candy that I made. We have some peach preserves that my sister made. We have some grape jelly. My hubby loves peanut butter jelly with grape jelly. Put on that. That'll be a good little side. Thank you so much for watching. I want to thank all my current subscribers and any new subscribers. If you're new to the channel, please hit the subscribe button. Give me a thumbs up and paste a comment. And I would love to know your recipe on making scones. And also your tidbits and tips on how to roll them out so they become one solid layer. Because I know when you go to restaurants or you go to like Panera Bread, they have, it's all one solid piece. But it's poofy like this one. Ooh, that's hot. But it's all one solid piece. See how that's broken up? Where you've got the little different layers there? That'll be hubby's and stuff. So anyway, thank you so much for watching. I love to see some tips in the comments section. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Take care now. Bye-bye. We'll see you at the next video. Thanks a lot.